Man, that's good. Jack and Coke is like my performance enhancing drug. I'm already awesome, but this just takes it up a notch. So, welcome back to Completely Off the Rails. For those of you who have been here before, you guys know what's up. Babe, for those new listeners, you want to kind of tell them what's going on here?
Sure. We are a weekly podcast where we discuss different topics, focusing mainly on stupid, petty arguments people have, along with some that are a little more serious. As you can tell, well, no, if you haven't been here before, I guess you can't tell, but as you'll be able to tell, this fucker is going to change this intro like 100 times. So it's going to sound different every time. Sometimes we have submissions from listeners who are dealing with problems and want us to either solve them or they just kind of want our opinion. We also get submissions to check out different internet sites, but mostly Reddit, and we're asked about those as well.
Yeah, and I changed the intro so there's a little bit of variety. People don't want to listen to the same thing over and over again.
So you
Damn.
can tell them how awesome you are.
Well, I mean, everybody knows, but the new people need to know what they're getting into. What it is.
Anyway,
So for everything you guys need related to this podcast, just go to cotrpod.com. You'll find our social media contacts, a place to submit your questions to the show so we can talk about them, and a link to go get your sweet ass COTR merch. Also, there's a link to our Patreon, so make sure you go check that out for a lot of extra stuff like ad-free listening. We review cults, extra episodes, and all that shit.
and for real, even if you end up not buying anything, please look at the damn merch and at least tell me what you think of it, because I made the stuff and I'm not too sure, you know? Like, I think it's funny, but, if it's not funny, please somebody tell me. Anyway, few warnings. We both have severe ADHD, so staying on track is legit impossible. We go in every direction while answering the question, which is why we're called Completely Off the Rails.
Yeah, and if you can tell, we have an intro that's written, and we haven't even stayed on track with that. We've been everywhere.
Mhm.
But we're also going to use bad language, so be prepared. We don't censor ourselves. We're definitely going to piss somebody off every now and then, but that's okay. I know there's people out there who wake up every morning just to try and find something they can fucking be offended by.
What we're trying to say is we may not be for you. That's fine. You gave us a shot. We had fun. Evidently, you did not. But no hard feelings. We'll continue on, and you stay the fuck away from rating our podcast. Win win.
All right, let's get this damn thing started, babe. What's up for tonight?
Okay, first, let me just say I don't know if this shit is long COVID or what, but it is ridiculous. When I have to read these submissions, I swear I have to use my damn inhaler. So if y'all hear me breathe into the mic, that's not on me. That's on fucking COVID, okay? Like, I don't know what to say. Okay, so the first one is a listener submission from Grace. She says, "My significant other and I aren't arguing about anything, but I'm hoping to prevent arguing. I currently live on the West Coast and my boyfriend lives in Jacksonville, Florida. We met 20 plus years ago when we were in our 20s. We ended up going our separate ways due to crazy life circumstances. Meanwhile, we both lived lives, had careers, changed careers, had relationships, though neither of us ever married or had kids, ended relationships, etc. In the last couple of years, we have reconnected and have been in a long distance relationship across the country, and we've decided it's time to take the next step. I will be moving across the country in the spring, and along with my pets, one dog, one cat, will be moving in with him. Although, I don't know, can you see me? I'm still trying to breathe. I swear to God, hold on, let me use this inhaler again. I cannot fucking breathe. Like, I'm trying to read this shit, and I'm like moving my head to take a breath every time. Hold on, let me use this damn inhaler.
God.
I have a doctor's appointment Monday, and I swear I'm going to tell him I need a damn new inhaler or something. Like, COVID has just wrecked my lungs.
Wreaked havoc.
Wreaked havoc. Yeah, that's what I meant. You get it. Anyway, where the hell was
All
I
right,
at?
so a dog, a bunch of fucking cats moving across country or some shit.
She didn't say a bunch of cats. She said one cat, one dog.
All right,
Although we've both been in serious relationships, neither of us have lived with a significant other for maybe 10 years. I think we're doing a really great job of trying to identify things that we expect to be issues. For example, he's very tidy, me, not so much. We know we can't predict all of the things that will come up, but we know they will. We're both pretty analytical and we're both motivated to make this work. We've talked about having weekly State of the Union meetings, dates where we can talk about what's working well and what we need to change. Obviously, this will be a big change for both of us, and I'm hoping that you guys might be able to share your experience, knowledge, and give some advice about how to not piss each other off. Also, I swear to God, I mean, fuck, what is this? I always talk so fast, like a mile a minute. Never had a problem.
Oh my
Now I
God.
can't even get through reading this shit without dying. I'm over here like trying to get a breath.
You
Like,
look
Grace, you're killing me. You're
you
killing me. I'm gonna stop fucking breathing.
look like you're underwater. And every now and then you gotta like look up to the side so you can get a breath above the fucking water.
Oh my God, this is the first time we're putting a video on YouTube too, right? So like the
Uh-huh.
first
Yeah.
time people see me on video, they're gonna be like, "What is this bitch doing?"
Yeah. I think it's pretty good
Trying to breathe.
interpretation. They're gonna figure you out right away. I think like,
Well, I'm fighting for breath, okay, fuckers? I'm trying to stay alive. So that's what you got here. Last thing. Also, I'm a Yankee going to live in the South for the first time. Do you have any tips for handling that transition? So, thoughts? Because I think you talked a little bit more with this person, didn't you?
yeah. Can you start over? I forgot.
Hell no, I can't start over. No, no, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. So they've been in a long distance relationship. Yeah, and I talked to her. She lives in Oregon, which I thought was funny because she listens to us and she lives in Portland, I believe, Oregon. I think just somewhere in Oregon. It doesn't matter. Oregon's super liberal. I'm surprised anybody in Oregon listens to the shit that
That's true.
I say. But so going from, I mean, about as far as you can go across the country.
I
Um,
mean, Portland to the South. I mean, Florida's not really the South, but South and ish, South adjacent.
and I did tell her that. I did tell her that you do not consider Florida the South, which I mean it's kind of fair. I guess maybe let's hit that first because that's the easy-ish or one of the others. So Jacksonville is a city that's big enough to not be the country. So it still has like the city feel to it. There's people that still enunciate. Um,
The
nobody's
fuck are you trying
dating.
to say?
I mean, nobody's dating their sister.
Okay,
So,
we're not
but
that bad.
but if you go about 30 minutes ish west, you're gonna start blurring the lines of like normal people and hillbilly. Like you're gonna get into that mixture of like there's people that are kind of like bleeding in from Georgia, and you will be straight up in like that's the South. That's the South. Florida's not because you've got like the northwest part and the Panhandle. I guess you kind of can, but that's really like just everybody going to the beach. That's what that area is. And then
Yeah.
you got the state capital, which is just full of a bunch of morons because that's who's leading the state. And then I guess over towards Gainesville, where the University of Florida's at, that's more rural, I guess. And then, of course, you go further south, you got Disneyland, and that takes up almost the entire
Are you getting
middle
the
part.
whole fucking geographical
Yeah,
map of
yeah.
Florida?
No, I'm explaining. Look, I'm
Okay,
explaining to
okay.
people the way Florida really is. Okay.
For
So then you
fuck's
go a
sake,
little
alright.
bit further south and you get into Miami, and there's a certain demographic that lives in Miami. There's a lot of Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and Jewish people that live in Miami. So that's a completely different dynamic there.
Yeah.
Um, and then on both coasts, you just got like people that are they're just like beach surfer, let's get high and surf kind of chill people. And that's kind of I grew up in Orlando, but I spent a lot of time on the East Coast of Florida at the beach too. So you'll be fine. Like you're not in the South. You're in Florida. Florida, it's its own country.
It is. It's
Like
like its
so,
own place.
so as long as you're in Jacksonville, you're fine. You start going west of that, you're going to be in Dinkville, banjos and shit.
Oh
'Cause, I
my
mean, it does.
gosh.
It does. You remember when we were driving home and we were going through the middle of nowhere on I-10, that area?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah.
pretty rural, but, I
Yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
don't think people were, like, fucking their sisters, so I don't know where
I
you're going with
I
that.
said dating. They still have
Oh,
Christian
jeez.
morals. They saved themselves from marriage.
Well, yeah, that does sound like some Christian shit around here. Oh my gosh.
I will say the one thing though is that she's probably got the grace you have going for you, I think, is you live in a super liberal state and you listen to us. So I would imagine that you are not super liberal and you're not going to find that in Jacksonville. You'll find that further down south, but where you're at in Jacksonville, you'll be fine. And you're not going to hit like the traditional, when you think of the South, all the bad stuff that you think about the South. You're not going to hit all that.
Yeah, we
Um,
keep all that over here in Alabama,
yeah, for
so
sure. Yeah,
you're
yeah,
good.
yeah. Alabama and Mississippi kind of got the lock on those Southern stereotypes, but
For sure, for sure.
Jacksonville's it's a chill place. It's not it's a good place to live because you got the beach right there, but you still also have the city. So there's things to do. And but I will say Florida, just everybody is fucking weird. Like there's a reason they every time somebody says, "Oh, that's Florida." I mean, that's just Florida, or
Yeah,
you're just
get
weird.
ready for that. There people are gonna be making fun of you for different reasons because every time we watch true crime, that shit is Ohio, Texas, or Florida. Mostly Florida. That's where they eat people's faces off. I mean, their
That was
shit
bath
gets
salts,
real. Yeah,
and
their shit gets
that,
real in Florida, okay?
that
It
was in
gets real.
Miami. That was in
Which
Miami.
is, wait, I'm sorry, is that not the fucking Florida?
The
Yeah,
Florida,
Miami's in Florida. I
the
said,
Florida.
"The fuck in Florida," okay? So, it is
Did
in
you?
Florida.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
No. So I mean, it's good, but there's a reason they call people Florida man when you hear crazy ass stories. And I mean, I will say, I mean, I think we can agree that I'm not a country boy by
Definitely not.
any stretch of the imagination. But when I was growing up, I would catch alligators and snakes and all that shit because that's just Florida. That's what you do. It's normal. That's normal
Yeah,
stuff.
they're their own set of damn people, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I don't do that anymore. Hell, I don't even cut my grass anymore. so, so that's the easier part. There's at least, it's not the South.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a very small place in Florida that's the South. The rest of it is just Florida. It's just Florida. So you'll be
yeah.
good there. You won't have any issues there. The relationship
Ooh,
stuff. What?
marijuana's not legal in Florida, is it?
I don't know.
So you
It's not
might have
legal
some
here either.
problems with that. I know, but it's legal in Portland, isn't it?
So are
Or
you just
Oregon?
you're just busting around being like, "Hey, Grace, you just smoke weed all day." Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, you could, though. I mean, like, this boyfriend starts getting on your fucking nerves, it's gonna be a lot easier to get high and chill with his ass than, it would be otherwise.
Well, I will say that the beach life kind of has the whole weed effect. Just go sit in the sand if you like sand. I fucking hate sand. I hate the beach. I wish they'd concrete that shit. Then
Oh,
I'd love
Lord.
it. Like I love the water. It's that sand in between your car and in the water that fucking sucks. But I don't think weed's legal there, but I don't think anybody cares either.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Not like here where, it's still a fucking felony and you go to prison for life.
So true. I mean, I think that it's a good sign that you guys were apart for a very long time, it sounds like, and still managed to reconnect. I mean, that kinda shows me right there that y'all are pretty strong. I mean, you have a pretty strong relationship.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and even though you haven't been married, you've both been in serious relationships, so you know how it is to be in a serious relationship. I think it'd be different if you were both 20 right now and you were making this move from Oregon to Florida.
Oh yeah, no. If you were doing that, I'd say don't. You can't. You can't do that. You don't even know who you are at 20.
Lord, no. I mean, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't ask any follow-up questions, and I'm gonna guess your follow-up questions were shitty because you never get any information. But my question would have been like, I know you've been in a long distance relationship and you've, um, probably traveled to see one another. Have you ever stayed with each other for a significant amount of time? Because that would be a good way of telling, if you're gonna be able to stay with this person.
Yeah, but based on what we've read, and no, I haven't. So the spring will be the significant amount of time that they're going to be together.
Mm. Grace, I don't know. I think you might be, running before you walk here. You might
Nah,
wait, walking before you crawl? Whatever the hell it is. Okay.
you don't
Anyway,
even know. You crawl, you walk, you run. You don't
yeah.
even know the progression of being a human.
No, I just didn't know which one of the sayings people use, but either way, it was right. So whatever. Fuck off. Anyway, I mean, I think a good idea might have been to take maybe a week's vacation and go out there and stay. But either way, I mean, shit's still going to come up.
Yeah, I mean everything's a honeymoon phase until you know. I don't think there's any amount of vacation time that you like a week. Okay, that's great. 2 weeks, even that, you're still everything's okay. You look past everything, but
Yeah.
um, I think already knowing that there's going to be things and talking about those and trying to get those out of the way. And I mean, it's I, she says they're both analytical, and then it's we've set up the State of the Union meetings, which I thought was funny, but I mean, but that makes sense to kind of have those check-ins and be like, all right, what's going on? But I will say that when you're doing those, you need to don't come in with like this motherfucker's going to change this shit right now.
Mm,
More like,
yeah.
okay, look, this is what's up. How do we make this work?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
I
mean,
work with a lot of blended families, and that's what I tell them. Have weekly meetings.
you're already doing better than my wife did. She didn't bother to tell me about her fucking psychotic dog before we moved in together.
My dog is precious, so whatever.
That dog is psycho. And
She is completely fine.
had I met her before we moved in together, we wouldn't be talking right now. We wouldn't be
I don't know
together.
what to tell you.
We
We're a
would not be
package
together.
deal.
Yeah, I know. I know. And I would have returned that package to sender if I would have known about that dog.
Oh my gosh. You love that dog. Shut up.
She's all right.
I think a good thing would be to set up expectations early, like before even going in on things. Like, him being very tidy and you being not so tidy, that's something that you probably want to have an expectation for.
Yeah.
Because, if he is super tidy, it's one thing to know, "Oh, she's not as tidy as I am." It's different for him to be having to kick his way through a fucking walkway in the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all need to know, like, what we're what we're facing here, you know?
We talking a few dishes in the dishwasher when you go to bed, or the sink when you go to bed, or are we talking like a fucking episode of Hoarders? There's a big
Exactly.
difference between those two.
Yeah. Because I mean, having an expectation of what he can deal with and what you're willing to do as far as that would be good.
Yeah, I think what we did with the whole this is the shit I'm not putting up with, instead of having expectations of what things are going to be like and this is what I want and here's my but just having a list of look, as long as you don't do this shit, we're good. And
Yeah.
and just knowing that that list may have to alter a little bit. The you can't fuck anybody else. That one's pretty standard. I mean, that
Mhm.
one's that one's a pretty stick unless that's your thing. I mean, some people
Oh,
are into
yeah.
that, but
Same.
if you're not, if monogamy is your thing, then that's a pretty solid. I'm not putting up with that
Yeah.
shit. But like that he is probably going to get irritated with you not being as tidy as he is, and there's probably going to be something that he's going to do that's going to irritate you just as much. So it's a give and take in when it comes to that. And so I think that's the kind of stuff that you bring up in your State of the Union address every every so often. I
Yeah,
fucking
like
love that. I love
I know,
all of it.
I
It's
know,
great.
I know, it is awesome. You know, one thing you could do for that is the biggest thing for people that are used to being very tidy, that the biggest thing that they have a hard time getting past when they start sharing a space is it feeling more chaotic to them. Because when they're used to being tidy, they're used to everything just being calm and everything's in its place. And, if it starts making them feel like everything's chaotic, it's not going to go well. So maybe you could try deciding on one or two spaces that you will always try to keep clean.
That's
Like
fair.
saying, okay, I'm not the tidiest person in the world, but I promise our bedroom will always be clean. Even if I have to throw all of my shit in my closet and close the door so that you don't see it, it'll still be clean. Because,
Yeah.
you have still that space to go to.
I mean, when we first moved in together and you turn that fucking vacuum cleaner on at 7:30 in the morning, I'm like, the fuck are you doing? But I
Yeah.
didn't realize that I've now created a monster because you sleep like a fucking teenager.
Mm
When you don't have to work, like on Mondays, when you don't, because you've figured out a way to give yourself a 3-day weekend every week, which
hmm.
is
Mm hmm.
smart. It's like noon before I see you.
Yeah. Don't think I didn't see you coming in this morning at like 9:30 and looking. I was like, I'm awake. Shit.
I wasn't looking to see if you were awake. I was just looking because if you were, I was going to say, hey. Actually, what I was going to do is say, hey, I need you to get on Zencaster and resubmit that shit because what we recorded the other night didn't go through and I need to edit it. That's what I was going to say, but you weren't awake. So
Well,
I
and
think
things like that, even like, here's the thing: if something comes up, it's all in how you approach it too. So when you have these weekly meetings, it's like he said, you don't come at it yelling and screaming at somebody. It's more about, like, say you are the kind of person who gets up early and he sleeps in late. Then when you have your meeting, saying something such as, you know, it's getting a little hard for me to get used to the weekends because I get up so early and you sleep so late. By the time you get up, I kind of feel like we've lost half the day together. And then you kind of can go from there and have a conversation so that, it's not, you never want the other person to feel like shit, like they did something wrong,
mhm.
because it's not necessarily wrong, it's just different. So it's figuring out what those differences are and coming to some kind of compromise.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that you guys definitely need to talk about is the fact that both of you are used to being, having your alone time and having your own space and not being, there's times when you just don't want to be bothered by anything or anyone. And that's just not going to change once you move in together. You're still going to want that alone time and just, leave me the fuck alone, or I don't want anybody messing with me or anything. So you're still going to have that. So you still got to figure out how to make sure that each of you have that without drifting apart quickly, but you also don't want to smother each other as soon as you move in together. And
Yeah.
I think that's going to be important because I don't know what the size of the apartment is. I know that when we moved in together, um, like we had to brush our teeth like with our arms crossed, and shit, and we had to like kind of squish into the bathroom together and all that. I
It
mean, it was,
wasn't that bad.
but but there's nowhere to go. So you get into a fight.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. But luckily for you, not you, Candace, but Grace, you got the fucking beach you can go to. I mean, if it ends up just getting too bad, just go to the beach. Apparently, that's a great place to go.
But you know what, though? That's another thing you need to make sure of: how you fight, how you argue.
Mm.
Because if one of you is big on let's talk things through and the other person is big on just getting pissed and leaving, that ain't gonna work out well for your first fight or your second or your third or your 10th. Like, you're gonna have to figure out a way to do that.
So, how do you do that, darling?
I mean, I think everybody should be able to say, I can't do this with you right now. Because some people don't want to fight right then. Like, for some people, they need to be able to process things and calm down, or it's not going to do any good to try to have a conversation because they're going to end up saying some shit they don't mean. And
Mm.
that's not getting you anywhere. But at the same time, you can't ignore it. So if one of you is used to getting mad and walking away, maybe just walk away with the understanding that, okay, after you have some time to calm down, then you're going to come back and we're going to talk about things.
So, You schedule the State of the Union, and are you saying they schedule their fights too? I'm
No,
totally kidding.
bitch.
I'm fucking with you.
Like, are you ain't
Totally
even
kidding.
listening? Shit.
No, I don't. I don't listen to you. That's what makes us solid. Um, the other thing is it sound from what I understood, she's moving into his place. I don't think they're getting a new place. So if that's the case, then he's going to have to understand that it's no longer his.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, and it's going to happen. You guys are going to get into an argument, and he's going to say his apartment or his house or whatever it is. And Grace, you're going to have to just understand that you'll have to circle back on that one because
Mm.
you won't want to bring that up right then because he probably didn't realize he said it, or he's being a dick and he said it on purpose like that.
In which case, you're like, fuck off. I ain't going nowhere, bitch.
Right. Hey, guess what, motherfucker? Half the rent's going to be late this month, or but
Right.
but I mean, it's going to happen. He's going to say it, so be prepared. I will say though that if you both are analytical, and then I think that as long as you use that the right way, that's good because you can come at issues the same way because you will have okay, this is why I'm irritated, and you'll have a logical explanation and steps as to what happened, how you got there, and how you can get through it. But if you analyze shit too much, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, I know you're saying that you're moving with your dog and your cat, but we don't know if he has any pets. So, again, that whole package deal thing, if he doesn't have pets and you're really attached to yours, you may want to make sure you let him know we're a package deal. Because pets are a
Yeah.
lot of work. I mean, and for fuck's
Mm-hmm.
sake, if you have our pets, they're a lot of damn money too. Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
These damn dogs have cost us so much money this year.
Yeah.
It's been unreal.
We're getting close to 8 grand with your dogs.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Your dogs. Your
Okay,
dogs.
one of them's yours.
He's not mine.
Well,
That
he was
fucker does
supposed to
not care.
be.
The only time he cares about me is when he's pissed off at you and he wants to show you. Guys, fucking seriously, like this dog, when he gets mad at her, he will come over to me and he'll lay down on me, like lean up against me and just fucking stare at her.
Oh my god, he's so funny.
It's hilarious, but it's also kind of hurtful because I'm like, look, I'm not just a piece of meat to be used in this fucking feud you're having with my wife. Like you guys work your shit out. I'm not in the middle of this. I don't fucking care.
Oh
I
my
don't care.
goodness.
But he will. He'll
Yeah,
fucking
he's
throw himself down and dramatic and everything else.
he is very much a drama queen. Very much.
Yeah.
But and if he does have pets, you want to make sure that they all get along because some of them don't. I mean, we were kind of worried about bringing the Schnauzer home with our Pickapoo because she's kind of an asshole, but they ended up working out okay. But then,
Kinda.
okay, she's an asshole, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like when your parents came, we thought for sure that, after a couple of days they would get along, but hell no, Call didn't want no part of them damn dogs the whole time they were
Yeah.
here.
That's because your other dog was an asshole. And I don't know where he got this confidence. He's 17 pounds.
I know.
And
He thinks he's a badass.
yeah. And I mean, those dogs were not. Like their head
No.
was 17 pounds.
Right.
So I don't know what he thought, but yeah, he wasn't having it. I
Mm-mm.
hope I'm hoping that there's only pets being brought and there's not any there because I mean, what the fuck do you do if they don't get along?
Yeah. And honestly, I don't have a magic answer for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I
Hopefully
know
it's
me and
okay.
my pets, like, I'm not fucking getting rid of my pets, so I don't know what to tell
Oh
you,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
it's
I mean
not happening.
if I was making the cross country trip and I had my dog and it met your dog and they didn't get along, I'd be fucking headed back to the West Coast. I know what would happen. You'd be like, "Look, it's the fucking dog. You're gone. See you. That's who I choose." Shit,
I
you do
mean,
that now. You would do that today.
well, maybe.
Maybe hell, whatever.
I
Like
love my
I eat
dogs.
I eat Popeyes They used to be 99 cents. Now inflation, they're almost $2. Those fucking dogs eat $6 of dog food a day.
That's not that much. They used to get the food I ordered that was like frozen and like
Oh, that we
human
had to
food.
fucking make?
Yeah, that too. But
Okay,
but even
yeah,
before that, they had the freeze dried stuff. So I mean,
yeah,
it's gotten cheaper over time.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. You know how it like, I just want to fucking lose my mind when I scan that shit and it's like 12 little fucking bowls of food, 24.75. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I don't understand why you let it upset you. Like, it's not going to change. Like, getting mad isn't changing
You know what?
anything.
It will
They got to
change.
fucking eat.
No, I do the grocery shopping. It's gonna fucking change.
I'll just go on Walmart.com and fucking order it. I mean, like, it's like gas. I don't understand why people get so wrapped up on gas. I mean, I understand bitching about it, but like, people are like, oh my God, you see how much gas went up today? Fuck no, I didn't, because I don't give a shit. I'm still getting it. Like, until I decide I'm going to start fucking walking, gas doesn't really matter to me. The fuck did you just do?
The whole goddamn thing just fell. What the fuck do you want? I told you to hold on. You didn't fucking see me like, hey, hang on.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't need your microphone for me to keep fucking talking, so I just kept going. But I was kind of wondering where you just threw that shit to. You said it fell over. I think your drunk ass knocked it over.
I'm not drunk yet.
Jesus. Good gosh.
I'm getting there though. I'm on my second one.
Oh my lord. Maybe I should start drinking. Maybe that's the problem. You know how like when people are drinking and you're sober and they get on your fucking nerves? That could be us right
It's like
now.
that.
Maybe I
It's
need to
like that
start
every day
drinking.
with you. That's how I feel every day
Oh,
with you.
shut up. That's not true.
All right. So enough about you. Back to her and him.
Okay. I
All right.
think
So
a good thing is to go at it always from I care about this person, so if something bothers them, I want to try to make it better instead of seeing it as it's something they're bitching about. Because I think when you approach it like that, it's always easier to change things that you're doing that maybe are not great for the other person.
yeah, and I kind of think of like when we take road trips. Like we get everything packed. We know the route we're gonna take. All this stuff, and I'm getting better. I'm still not good at it, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. Um, when the first thing of the plan that you made changes, don't lose your shit. So you could plan this whole thing out. You could say, hey, we've got all these issues that we know we're going to have, or we've worked through, or we all this stuff. And then when the first thing happens that you guys haven't talked about, that can't be like a huge blow up. That just has to be, well, fuck, we didn't think about that. All right, so how do we handle
Yeah.
it? So you need to think of it like, how did we handle it before we were living together? How did
Yeah.
we work through it then, and just work through it the same way? Because shit's gonna happen. You can't fucking plan for everything. You
Yeah,
just
there's
can't.
no way.
No,
And
I
I
mean,
mean, I think that's why the having the deal breakers is such a good thing because we
mhm.
have always, since the very first day we moved in together, we have these are my deal breakers, shit I'm not putting up with, and anything else. It's like, are you going to divorce me? No, then shut up.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, it is what it is. Like,
and
because
I mean, we didn't. I didn't move across the country for us to move in together, but we also did not. We didn't talk about shit before I before we moved in together. It was like we got an
yeah,
apartment, we
that's
moved
true.
in, so like we didn't have the time to plan, and we weren't we weren't as smart as we are right now. We were a little
No,
bit younger, and by a little bit, I mean like it seems like forever ago when I wasn't in my 40s. But so I mean, I just feel like if you just plan for shit to go wrong and figure out how to work through it without freaking out.
yeah. And if you have that mentality of, are you going to break up with me? No, then shut up. It makes things so much easier because I swear, I think the biggest part of what keeps people from saying certain shit they're thinking is because somewhere in the back of their mind, they're thinking, oh, are they going to leave me over this? You know? So they just let shit go and let shit go and let shit go until one day they snap. But if you know that you're in a secure relationship and you don't have to worry about that person leaving, It's a lot easier. Trust me, I know, because I be telling this motherfucker all the time he's getting on my nerves. Like, I don't even care. I'm like, bitch, you got to go on somewhere today. You're on my damn nerves.
You know what I do? I just keep scrolling on my phone. I don't even look at you.
But I also tell him sometimes, I'm like, look, I'm being a bitch today. I'm getting on my own nerves. So you might want to just steer clear.
Now that is when I look at you and I'm like, yeah, you're fucking right. You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that shit in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
But
other thing is you got to look at this like it's permanent. You
yeah,
can't.
that's what I'm saying. You got to have that
Yeah,
security.
yeah. You can't look at this like, hey, I'm just moving in with this dude, and it might work, it might not. No, that's a long ass way to move. You're
Mm-hmm.
uprooting everything. So you need to look at it like we're together forever. I don't give a shit what happens, unless it's
Yeah.
one of those few things that you're not putting up with. But other than that, you got to look at it like that. And
Yeah, because I mean, we weren't together that long, and you went back into the Army and we moved to Texas. So I left my career because I had been in finance for like 9, 10 years. Left, the apartment here. I mean, left everything
your
to move
family,
to Texas. Yeah. So,
yeah,
you get out there, you're like, well, we got to make this shit work somehow because I'm not going back. Like, I'm not fixing to go back and tell everybody, well, that didn't work out. I'm back.
right, yeah. I think it's good though that they're not in their 20s.
Yeah.
So, I think that it'll help because he's not a young, you know, I don't know, we're dicks. We're dicks our entire lives. Like we're born that way, we die that way. It just the level is different as we get older. It decreases. And then
Mm-hmm.
once we get to a certain age, and I think women do too, once you get to a certain age, you don't give a fuck what anybody thinks anymore and you just say whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
but for right now, you're still in the, you know, the low dick mode of him right now, like
Yeah.
so I think that helps. I think that helps, because a lot of guys we're we got tempers, hot headed, and everything else, and as we get older, that shit it doesn't go away. I don't know if it didn't fucking go away, but it starts to kind of chill out a little bit, enough to make you chicks want to stay with us. So
Yeah.
I
And
think
you
you're
you
good
got to
there at
realize
least.
too that we are so different. I mean, if you realize that men and women just think differently and we are different about things, you will get pissed off a lot less. And even when you do get pissed off, you'll be able to let it go a little easier. Because, I
Hmm.
mean, there's shit that guys say that you're like, did this motherfucker really just say that? Like, is he serious? But
Hmm.
they won't have a fucking clue why you're mad. They won't have the faintest damn clue.
Yeah,
So, I
we also
mean,
don't know why it's a big fucking deal.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, they
why
won't.
is this is not a big fucking deal? What are you freaking out about? Look,
Yeah.
that shade of black is just slightly different from the other shade of black. Just put the fucking shirt on and let's go. So,
See
I
this?
mean,
That's just stupid talk right there. That's
I'm
just
just
stupid.
saying. I'm just
But,
saying.
if you talk about it, you know,
Yeah.
you'll get to an agreement. And another thing, you have to understand that you're not always going to come to a compromise. Sometimes you have to just realize that this is important to the person I'm with, so I don't have to get it. It doesn't matter that I don't get it. It's still important to them. Because I'm sure there's some shit that is important to me that you don't give a fuck about. You just still do it because you know it means that much to me. Probably like these damn dogs. But
Uh, uh, no, never. Not the dogs. Absolutely not the dogs. No, your true crime podcast where nobody knows what the fuck happened. I know you love those. That shit's annoying.
I'm gonna solve a case one day and you're
No,
gonna
you're
feel stupid,
not.
okay?
You
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 don't
can't
know.
solve anything. You don't solve anything.
Okay, listen, we're not gonna help her if we get divorced in the middle of this podcast. So if I were you, I'd calm that down.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay?
she'll be like, "Hey, you see what those dumb motherfuckers did during the podcast? We ain't doing
Oh,
that."
yeah. I'm gonna
No, but
start talking some crazy shit like that.
yeah, there is stuff, but what's weird is we are so opposite. Like,
Yeah, in a lot of
like
ways.
I had to endure a Hootie and the Blowfish concert, and I had to stand for hours. And I'm the one that bought the tickets because I was like, "Hey, she wants to go do this," and I did not want to do that. But you were also the person that has to sit, and you bought the tickets, and you had to sit through 2.5 hours of Wicked because I like theater, you do not. It's like about as backwards as stereotypes get when it comes to that. But
Yeah.
so
It
you,
actually wasn't that bad, but
No,
You know,
it's
it's
fucking
not
amazing.
anything I would ever been like, yeah, let's go do this.
Uh-huh. What'd you do in New York on Broadway?
Oh my God, that was so awesome though. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Musical theater, same thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, even just other things like if there's something that bothers your partner that you just don't, you're like, that makes no sense. Why would that make you mad? Like, I just don't get it. That's okay. You don't have to fucking get it. What does it matter whether or not you get it if it still bothers them? Just don't fucking do it. Like, people
Yeah.
are so concerned with being right instead of being happy. It's like, you don't have to win every fucking argument. Does losing the argument make things go better? Then maybe who the fuck cares if you lose?
Yeah.
It should always be about fixing the problem and not winning an argument. And you have to remember that you're a team. So it should always be the two of you against whatever the problem is instead of the two of you against each other. You're
Yeah.
not fighting each other, you're fighting whatever issue comes up.
Yeah, and you can't put like you do to me is like if I get irritated with something, you think I'm just mad forever or I'm super pissed off. I mean, I can get mad and throw shit and it's just me like that's my outlet for a second and then I move on. Kind of like the fucking faucet in the kitchen the other day. Like
Oh, I just can't stand listening to it because I'm like, you sound like a fucking 5-year-old child with your tantrum, is
I
what
didn't
it
have a
sounds like to
tantrum.
me.
See, but that's the thing. Like you get
I just
irritated.
walk away.
Yeah, you walk
I'm
the fuck
like,
away.
yeah,
I throw shit. The fucking sink works.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, if this shit ain't fixed by the end of the day, we're calling a fucking plumber out here, and that's the end of it.
And you
Because
know
I'm not
what? You
fucking
know what?
listening to this
You
shit.
know what your bitch ass should have done? You should have just been. You should have thrown me a fucking party or something. I mean, me. I got down there with fucking tools and shit, and I did something that like men do. Like I don't do that shit. That's not me. I don't
I didn't
fix
ask
things.
you to do it. What the fuck are you talking about?
But yeah, fuck you. It doesn't matter if you ask me or not. Okay.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair. That's fair.
okay, the shit was leaking. and
Yeah.
I and I wanted to fix it. Now, I will say that I just wanted the fucking sprayer to be fixed, and then that didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, hell, I'll just buy, the sink. It's just real easy to take out. Oh no, no, the fuck, it's not. It wasn't easy to take out. Do you know? Like, I had to actually bend the copper underneath the sink until it like sheared off.
Oh, God.
And then when I went to put the hoses back on there, one of them didn't reach at first, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I
my
will, I
God.
will fucking burn this house down." But
Oh,
luckily,
gosh.
I found some more slack, and it went fine after that.
Thank God. I still
But
don't
yeah,
understand why you went with a shiny one. Why didn't you get one like the one in the bathroom we just
for
bought?
fuck's sake, fuck off.
I'm just saying that to annoy you.
But you know what? You know what? Like literally, because of how like our house is 10 years old, but it's like it was made, you know, in the fucking stone ages, and they just made it as difficult as possible. Because now, if I was to go in there, it's fucking. You don't even need tools. It's fucking hand tightening shit. You just take it off. It take like 4 seconds. Because when I wanted to fucking kill somebody. Because when I looked at the box, it was like easy install. It takes under 30 minutes, and I was like, fuck all the way off. Fuck
You're
off.
like,
I wanted
"Not in
to
this
call those
fucking
people and be
house."
like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you can fuck off because this is not 30 minutes of goddamn work.
Oh, shit.
Mm. All I'm saying is appreciate the shit that he's not normally doing. All right.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, the fucking kitchen sink ain't fixed yet. Because that's what I got.
Yeah. No, I didn't say that shit to you at all. I didn't say any of that. I was like, "Okay, then." I just fucking left because I knew you was gonna start bitching, and then it was gonna get on my fucking nerves, so I just left. I was like,
Yeah.
"Alright, whatever."
See? Problem solved.
I come out, I was like, Is there a problem? Like, what the fuck is all this yelling about?" And I'm like, "Okay, peace out. I'll see you
Mm-hmm.
later."
Yeah. The smartest thing you did is didn't ask me, is there a problem? You
Mm,
just you just
yeah.
knew what was going on. And you're like,
Mhm.
this fucker's got tools. It's not going to end well.
It was like, "I'm out. Fuck this shit." I'm
This
not
is
even
this is what
looking.
I'm good at. I'm good at this. Like, let me Google this shit real quick. Okay, you can be out here at what time? You're gonna come fix this shit for me at what time? Yeah, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Thanks. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So I don't know. I don't know if we answered the question. I think we did.
Yeah, I think
I
we
feel
did.
like we did. I feel
I
like we
think we
did.
did.
Yeah. I mean, you got to act like it's forever because it is,
Mhm.
and you know, work on the
Be a
shit
team.
during your State of the Union.
Yeah. And no nagging. Nobody needs
Oh,
another fucking parent.
no, for fuck's
I
sake.
mean, ugh,
Yeah.
no.
And once the honeymoon period is over, you're going to realize that you want to be alone sometimes. That's
Yeah.
going to be a thing. So
Are
you
you
got to let
trying to
each other.
like subtly tell me something? Subtly? Whatever the fucking word is. Are you trying to tell me something? Because you said that like 3 times and we're never alone. We're always together. So I feel like you're trying to be like, catch on, bitch. Catch on to what I'm saying. Like, I need some fucking alone time. You're my damn nerves.
All I can think about right now is like Elmer Fudd. When you try and do sayings, you know how he's always fucking up words and then he just completely changes what he was going to say? Like, that's you.
I
Like,
can't fucking stand you.
you're just trying to figure out a saying. You're like, if the fuck, if the, it's, God damn it, you know what I mean. Nobody fucking
Yeah.
knows what you mean.
Y'all should.
Nobody
I don't
knows.
know what your
No.
problem is.
Twitter proved that nobody knows what you mean.
Speaking of Twitter, that is our next question. It
Oh,
came,
yes.
yeah, it came from the podcast Today We Laughed and Learned.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like them too. Like I listened to a couple
Yeah.
episodes.
So did I.
It was really good. I like them.
It was. It was. I
So
think they're fucking setting us up right now, but okay, go ahead.
yeah, probably. This does sound sketchy, but
No.
no, it says you talked on last week's podcast about how women can't do everything men can do physically. Curious how you feel about those transitioning and then playing a professional sport in their new identity. So, for example, a man now identifying as a woman. I know you got some strong fucking thoughts on this.
Okay,
So,
so here's what I'm gonna say first before we even get started. Okay. Is that I respect whoever a person is,
yeah,
whether, however they identify, whether they're gay, straight, bisexual, whatever they are. Like they're human beings. At the end of the day, that's what it is for me. You're a fucking human being.
yeah,
So,
he don't get out much though, so he don't understand the terms. So if he says one wrong, don't cancel us. He just
okay,
don't fucking know, okay?
okay, so listen, you guys are somebody's gonna get pissed off at me. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get mad. Just remember what we said at the beginning, stay the fuck away from rating anything and just move on with your life. Okay. Just move on. Because I will
Yeah.
tell you that I give zero fucks about who anybody fucks or what they want to be or what
Right.
genitalia they want. I don't give a shit. It doesn't impact my life.
Yeah.
Like if they were slowing down traffic, that's the
Yeah.
kind of shit that would annoy me. I don't give a fuck what you do or who you do or anything like that. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Okay. So with that being said, um, if you are transitioning
Mhm.
and you have transitioned completely, or even not, well, whatever, but just because you identify as a woman does not mean you should be able to participate in sports against women. The reason I say that is not because of who you are, not because of the transition you made or anything else. We've proven, or science has proven, not me, sorry, science has proven that men are stronger than women. Yes, I'm trying to be delicate, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck. So men are stronger than women most of the
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Now I know a big argument people are gonna have is that as from a male to female transition, you stop taking or start taking estrogen and you're
Hmm.
not having all the testosterone,
Sure.
so you lose some strength. However, it has been shown you don't lose all your strength, so you're
Right.
still stronger. I
Right.
mean, you
I mean,
know?
because the biggest thing, obviously, the biggest thing was the swimmer, and I forget her name. I think it was Leah something, but I could be wrong. But everybody knows what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
I mean, she's huge compared to the women she was competing against.
Yeah.
She either I don't want to sit here and type, but I do believe that she either broke a record or was really close to breaking the record of Katie Ledecky, who was a gold medal winning swimmer in the Olympics in the first event she participated in. Like
Wow.
that's not a coincidence. It's
Yeah.
because she transitioned, and just because you transition and you don't have as much testosterone, you still have longer legs, bigger feet, bigger arms, broader shoulders. You still have those muscle groups that are there. It's still there. You should not
Yeah.
be competing against women. I know you are a woman now. I get that. But
Yeah.
there are things that it doesn't completely
But your
transform
bones didn't
everything.
shrink.
Right,
Your
right, right.
your feet didn't shrink, your hands didn't shrink.
Now, now, and the other thing is there was, I read stories about girls who had been swimming their entire lives and they got to this national championship level and they didn't compete. They didn't bother to go because
Wow.
they knew they weren't going to win. They knew they
Yeah.
didn't have a chance. So
Mm.
that's my thing is like, but on the other side is where do they compete?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for
You
me,
know?
especially knowing that men have larger lungs and all, it really stands. I mean, that really applies here with the swimming, you
Yeah.
know? Um, so, yeah, I mean, I do think that she had an unfair advantage, but again, where do you fucking compete? I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Honest to God, I don't know.
So when I, for whatever reason, I like watching the Little League World Series. These kids are awesome. I mean, just the stuff they say and the way that they compete and the sportsmanship and everything. I love watching it. But like when I told you there were 4 girls that were in the Little League World Series playing with the boys, what did you think?
I have no idea. I don't.
Oh, thanks for leaving me hanging. But
Sorry, I don't know where you're
but
going with it.
but what I'm saying is that's not. I don't want to say normal, but I mean when you hear stuff like that, you're like, wow, she's competing with the boys. Or there's I don't know her name. I wish I knew all these names, but she is a varsity quarterback for her high
Now
school.
that okay. Yeah,
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you're
she's
talking
in
about
there,
Little
and
League baseball? I don't know shit about Little League baseball, so that was not the example to give.
it's not the fucking point. The fucking point is when you see a woman competing with men or a girl competing with boys, it's like, wow, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That she can keep up. Because why? Not because of how she identifies, but because her physiological characteristics are able to withstand men or boys that she's playing against. I mean, fuck, look at the UFC when it first started. UFC 1. You would have a dude that's like 150 pounds fighting against a dude that's like 350. You know how
Yeah,
long
you're
that,
like, "He's gonna
yeah.
die."
You know how long that lasted? Like 4 fucking UFCs. By like 5 or 6, they were like, "No, we need weight classes." So
Mhm.
even in men competing against men that were all born men, there's still weight classes. And there's weight classes because it's unfair or somebody's going to get hurt.
You know what I wonder too? Would people feel the same way and have the same arguments on this if this were a UFC situation? If a
Yeah,
female transitioned to a male or male transitioned to a female, would people be okay with them fighting? Because I
I
feel
think
like people would feel way fucking different then.
I think there it would be. I don't want to say accepted. I think people would be able to be like, okay, no problem if a woman transitioned to a man and then fought, in as that gender. If a man transitioned to a woman and then fought against other women, there would be an issue.
Mhm.
I think that's where the issue is, and it's not because of genitalia. It's not what it's about. It's about fairness, and it's about just the physiological characteristics of a person. Whether you got a dick or not, that's not the point. Whether you had one to be, look.
So
Oh man,
maybe that's something that we say, like, I don't know if this is the best way of putting it, but it's all I can fucking think of, so this is what we're going with. So, like, in, bowling, people have a handicap. So, maybe something like that, like, you know, we're going to let you compete, but you have or they I guess they would have a handicap,
yeah.
like,
I
we're
mean,
gonna add a second to your thing or 2 seconds to it or whatever. Because, I mean, let's be honest, especially when you're talking about swimming, the arm span of a male body is a lot fucking different than a female's. Just the hand size, the foot size, legs. I mean, so you're going to have a longer stride than a woman.
Hmm.
So if you transition, okay, but that stride didn't go away, that hand
Right.
size didn't go away, none of that went away. So you still have that advantage, but you still want it to be fair that they do have somewhere to compete. So maybe try doing it with like a handicap, something like that.
Yeah. And I don't want to compare people to cars, but it's the only way in my mind that I can kind of, you know, say this. But so when I was a kid, my dad and I we used to go watch drag racing all the time. And you could take whatever car you wanted and go drag race. Now, what you would do is they would run qualifying runs to see how fast their car would, make it down the quarter mile.
Yeah.
So then when you got up in your fucking gremlin and on the other, the other lane was some fucking souped up Mustang, you may
Yeah.
get a 3 second head start. But by the time they got to the end of the track, it was a close race. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not comparing people to machines, so calm the fuck down if you're freaking out already. But
No, I
what I'm
get what you're
saying,
saying though.
what I'm saying, is there has to be something that it can be inclusive but still fair,
Yeah.
because it's it's not a coincidence because when she competed, she won a national championship.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm just going to say it because I fucking get it. Okay. When she was a man and competed, she didn't stand a chance when she was a man. She got blown away in every single race
Yeah.
when she was a man. She transitioned to a woman, won a fucking national championship. That's not coincidence.
Well, and I mean, I don't know the person at all. Either way, I don't fucking watch swimming, as you can tell. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I remember the uproar over this, but I don't watch swimming, so I didn't really give a shit either way. But yeah, I mean, if this person was not winning as a male and all of a sudden wins right out of the gate as a female, I mean, I don't know what other conclusion you would come to.
Yeah, and the problem is people are making this, they're looking past what the real issue is.
Yeah,
The issue isn't, the real issue is how do you make sports fair for people who transition from one gender to the other? How do you make it fair?
exactly.
But what everybody wanted to focus on was, well, why is this man turning into a woman? Just having that fucking narrow mindset of not understanding how the world works today, and
Yeah.
understanding that people, they may be born a certain gender, but that's not who they are. So yeah,
Mhm.
she transitioned to who she was and who she is. So that's not the thing that we should be talking about, but that's the thing that they wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
I mean, like I keep comparing it to stuff, but like if the University of Alabama plays against Samford, both teams in Alabama, the University of Alabama pays Samford $1 million or whatever the number is because they know they're going to go there and get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
They fucking know what's going to happen. They're not as
Yeah.
good. They're not as good as they are. So the University of Alabama pays this school. All schools do this. Big
Yeah.
schools, when they play little schools, they all do this. They pay them. They come there. They beat the shit out of them, and it's usually at the beginning of the season. And it's basically like a preseason game for these Power Five conferences. So there's compensation there. I don't know how
Yeah.
you do that with gender. I don't know how you do
Well,
that.
I think the big thing is that I mean, we don't know. And I think that's the biggest thing is that we start trying to figure that out instead of just arguing. Because I think that's the problem. Instead of anyone trying to come up with any kind of solution, they just want to argue. And
Hmm.
it's like,
Yeah,
why are we arguing over this? Instead of it being weeks and weeks and weeks on the fucking news and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere arguing over this shit, the fucking swimming thing was done. It was done. It was over. You know, let's try to find a solution to the issue. Let's try to figure it out. Like, stop fucking arguing over it and find a solution to the real fucking problem.
yeah. I will say, I think the good thing is it's unfortunate for the women who didn't stand a chance. It is because I mean, you don't go after college. Where do you go with swimming? If you're not in the
Yeah.
Olympics, that's it. That's all you got is college. So that was unfortunate. But as a society, I will say at least we, you know, didn't say no, she's not allowed to compete. At least
Yeah.
we at least it was inclusive, and now we got to figure out what the answer is. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, look at college football. They can't even figure which fucking 4 teams should play in the fucking playoffs.
Right.
And
But yeah.
and if you just want to look at it, just look at it from gender. Just go and Google the United States women's basketball team for the Olympics and look at them against some of the other teams that they played against. They were literally like 2 feet taller than people they were playing against,
Wow.
and they beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like by like 60, 70 points, beat the fuck out of them because it's an unfair advantage. But I mean, what do you do? But it's the
Well,
same
and
gender that way.
another thing too is I think that it took her win away from her as well. I mean,
Yeah, it did.
because there I don't know how she felt about it, but there's some part of her that's always going to feel like, did I really win that? Did I really deserve that? Did I
There's an
really do
asterisk.
that?
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
asterisk with her name. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's not fair. I mean, she should have been able to win and be like, "Fuck all y'all, I won."
right,
Instead of it
right.
having to
Yeah,
be like that.
yeah. Um, I will say that it. I mean, I think it's. I don't know if she intended this or not, but I think it's good because it and things always start like this. It always starts with both sides being pissed off at each other and focusing on the wrong fucking thing. But
Yeah.
at least there's a conversation. It may be yelling back and forth because they're focused on the wrong thing, but at least there's a conversation about it now. Stuff is becoming more normal. Fucking nothing's normal. Nobody's fucking normal. If you say you're normal, you're fucking crazy. You're not normal. Nothing.
Right.
Nobody's fucking normal. So,
Yeah.
but at least we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, we're understanding that, it's just somebody's just not like going, oh, I'm a girl inside. I'm a man. Who wants to do that? Like,
Yeah.
live a day, live a weekend, of trying to live like that.
Mhm.
Fucking
Yeah.
Jesus, fuck, no, no, thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not some like benefit. It's not some privilege. I mean,
Right.
you're
Like, what
literally,
person is wanting to do that? It is like,
yeah,
you know what? I think I'm going to change genders just so I can make my life fucking miserable with everybody treating me
right,
like shit. I mean, who
right,
chooses that? Nobody's
yeah,
choosing that.
yeah. I mean, trapped inside of your own body,
Yeah.
knowing who you are on the inside, but you're not that on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
I'm 18 on the inside and my outside is not reflecting it, and even that is pissing me the fuck off.
it is not. You
So,
are fucking breaking down.
bitch, I mean, you don't have to go there with it. Damn. Good gosh.
I'm just fucking with you, but I mean,
Anyway, yeah.
you know, it just like something we got to figure something out because
Yeah.
it's this is there's not a man, maybe that's what it is right now. There's not enough people who are brave enough to, not only make the transition but also step out into the spotlight
Yeah.
and be like, fuck it, this is who I am, bitches, what's up. um,
Yeah.
so maybe as we get more people that are, they kind of get with the times and understand that the world's not what they think it is. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia,
Mhm.
Tennessee, all you people, yeah, who I'm talking to, Arkansas, you're in there too. Maybe you fucking move into, at least the 80s because you're still in the fucking 60s. Maybe
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
come along with the rest of society, and we understand that that's there, and then perhaps one day there's enough, but I still don't want to say, put them in their own, you know
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's still not what we're looking for, but
Yeah.
you do want shit to be fair. It's like we were talking earlier, like when Cam played football, when he played kindergarten all the way up until like 4th or 5th grade, if you were a certain size, you were not allowed to run the ball. You were not allowed to
Mhm.
play quarterback. You were not allowed to be wide. You were not allowed to get the ball at all because you're too fucking big. These little kids are
Mhm.
trying to tackle you and you're fucking crushing them and you're hurting them. So they
Yeah.
said, like, it was 105 pounds. If you were 106, your ass was on the line. You were either defensive lineman or offensive lineman. That's it.
Thank God, because our 47-pound extra,
Right?
extra small that they had to special
Yeah.
order a uniform for
Mhm.
would have been killed.
Yeah,
Would have
exactly.
been killed.
Exactly. So it's like, everywhere else where we do make some concessions on certain things.
Yeah.
So it's just the problem is we're not focused on how do we make it fair. We're focused on whether or not it's socially acceptable for somebody to transition from a man to a woman. Guess what? It
Yeah.
fucking is. It fucking is.
Yeah.
I
But,
mean,
for some people aren't making it about that, but people wanna fight. They wanna fight. They want
mhm,
drama.
yeah,
And that's not what this should be about. We shouldn't even be stirring it up. We shouldn't even be asking the question just to instigate a damn fight. I
yeah.
mean,
And I guarantee you, it's people that don't have kids that have competed in anything. Because
right.
you know that these fuckers that are all in an uproar about this, if their kid was out there, they'd be like, "This ain't fucking fair." You know they would be. They'd be the first
Yeah.
ones to bitch about it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not. It's not fucking fair. It's not. I mean, it's unfair advantage through no fault of her own. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
she's a woman. She was competing in women's sports,
Yeah.
but there's still an unfair advantage there. So, how do you fix it? I don't know. I don't think you fix that. I think you fix society and at least make it, we make it okay for people to not. I cannot wait for the day when you come out as being homosexual or you are transgendered and you make the transition. I cannot wait for the day when that's not somebody being brave. And I
Yeah.
mean, when it's just, look, it was Jason, now it's Jennifer. Who gives a fuck?
You're
Still,
like,
it's still a
"Cool."
fucking yeah, it's still a fucking human being. Who gives a fuck? That like
Yeah.
it doesn't fucking affect your life. It doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't affect your life. Fuck it. I mean,
Exactly.
shit. It's just like when gay marriage was a thing. Oh, gay marriage, motherfucker. Guess what? Straight people. Guess what you're doing? You're fucking getting divorced. It's not like they're
Mhm.
ruining the sanctity of marriage. You fucking covered
Exactly.
that. You fucking hammered that out of the way a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like calm the fuck down. I just don't like people just fuck Jesus Christ. It's probably because we live here. I mean, let's our kid his first day of school today. What did he have to deal with?
Oh, yeah. People
Hmm.
saying shit because his hair's dyed pink.
Yeah, yeah. His hair's dyed pink, so people are asking him if he's gay or not.
But, I'm his mom, so I'm like, "Fuck all y'all" on Facebook, like, "If you're
Yeah,
teaching your kids that wearing pink is a problem, then you need to fucking delete me because
yeah.
you're an issue. I don't wanna be friends with you. You're a
Of course, we also
homophobe or fucking stupid."
told him to go back to school and make sure everybody knew that when they said something. Be like, "You
Yeah.
have a problem with gay people? Are you a
Mhm.
homophobe? Really? You're discriminatory towards this person?" And I told him to be fucking loud about it too.
Yeah, because my thing is, like, what does it matter? What does it
It
matter?
doesn't
I
fucking
mean,
matter.
because I asked him that, I said, "Okay, but" because he didn't even he wasn't even saying anything to us, but we asked him, "Did
Mhm.
anybody say anything?" And he's like, "Yeah, a few people asked me if I was gay because my hair is pink." And I'm like, "Would it matter?" He's like, "No." He's like, so he didn't give a shit, but it was just I said, "Well, it doesn't matter, but maybe we should speak up about that, you know?" So
You know what I think is funny too is when like people are, "Oh, you're wearing pink. What are you, little sissy or whatever?" Hey, guess what? In the Wild West, that's what color they wore because it was cheaper to make that stuff. So
yeah,
your
people
fucking
don't know
cowboy
that.
idols, yeah, they wore pink. So
Yeah, but the same people bitching about that probably ain't read any books. They ain't read
they
enough
can't
books to
fucking
know that.
read.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah. I know you're trying to fucking stop me before I say some
I'm
shit I
trying to
shouldn't.
wrap it up. No, I'm trying to wrap it up because we're already like an hour and 10 minutes in. And when you start drinking, you get
Okay.
long
Okay.
winded.
Listen, this you say every fucking week. Every fucking week you say something about Pulitzer Prize winning shit we're giving out here. No, this is the first time we've ever talked about something that is even in the running for a Pulitzer. And it's me
Hmm.
talking and I'm stealing your fucking thunder. That's why you're trying to shut me down. You're trying to cancel me on
No,
our podcast because you're not getting enough glory. It's cool. Whatever.
I'm not.
I'll fucking edit your ass out of everything we do from now on.
I do not give a fuck. Edit me out of everything. I don't give a shit. No, you sent me a schedule of all the shit we got to record, and we ain't gonna have time to do that if you keep fucking saying the same thing over and over. So,
All right. I just want to make sure people understand.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I get it. I
Because,
do.
I don't give a fuck what people do with their lives. It don't
Mm-mm.
affect me. It doesn't affect me.
Right. Right. Are you
It
paying
doesn't.
my mortgage? Nope. Then I don't give a shit what you
All right.
do. Do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. You
Yeah.
don't pay my bills. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm done. I'll hush now. Okay. So hopefully, Grace, we have answered your question there. If we haven't, like I emailed, I mean, when I was emailing back and forth with her, I did tell her that, hey, if we don't cover something, because it's us, it's a good possibility we'll fucking miss some shit. Just to email us back, and then we'll make sure that we can kind of give you what we think, and hopefully we helped a little bit tonight. And then um, you know check out the Today We Laughed and Learned podcast. I mean, this was their question for us.
Yeah.
They asked us over Twitter, and I told them I didn't think 240 characters was enough for me to really explain, because I wanted to make sure people understood. But go take a look at their, and give them a listen. I enjoyed their stuff, and I appreciate their question. I think it's
Hopefully it wasn't calling us out like, "So, bitches, what do y'all think about this?" Because we didn't like your shitty answer to last week's podcast.
But I will say, last week it was you and Lisa that were saying this. It wasn't me and the other Jason. So
Shit, I don't even remember. I don't remember for one. I never remember what the hell I say. I hear it back and I'm like, "Well, I said that? What?"
yeah, there are so many times you do that.
I never know.
But anyway, that is it for tonight. So make sure you go out to our website, cotrpod.com. You'll find our Patreon, social media, all that shit. There's also a true crime podcast that we do. It's going to get better. Right now it's me telling her story, so it's kind of iffy, but I think it's good. But it's going to get better. It's fun to listen to. There are endings. You know what the fuck happened at the end, which I appreciate.
Go to hell.
You can also send in your submissions to the show, so we can talk about what you got going on.
And be sure to subscribe. And by subscribe, I mean hit the fucking plus sign, because people tell me all the time, "Yeah, I subscribe to your show." And I ask them about it and they're like, "Oh, no, I didn't do that." So you didn't subscribe at all. Because people will be like, "I missed your last episode. Have you put it out yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you subscribe, it'll download it."
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't do that. So fucking subscribe.
Yeah.
And, giving us a 5-star review and leaving comments about how great we are, that's not gonna hurt our feelings either. So, but at least subscribe, okay?
Yeah. And if you did not like the content from tonight's podcast, don't rate us. Stay the fuck away. It's no
Mhm.
sense. We don't usually talk about this kind of stuff, so don't rate us.
Yeah.
But remember, guys, the one thing you always need is that settlemate. You'll need them later in life, so make sure you stay with them and stay content. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.